This is Homelink 5.2, comparing numbers. Review the meanings of the greater than and less than relation symbols, see the box below, before your child begins this page. When your child has completed the Homelink, ask him or her to read the numbers on the page to you. Please return this Homelink to school tomorrow. So, children should know these symbols here. This is the less than symbol, and this is the greater than symbol. And if they forget, it gives a key right over here that says this symbol means is less than, and this symbol means is greater than. One way that we've talked about is the small point. The point always points to the smaller number. So no matter which way it's pointing, the small point is always pointing to the smaller number. And the open side, so it's bigger on both of them, the open side always points to the bigger number. So you want to have your kids think about that as they go through this page. So have them read it out loud, 906 or 960. So you have to think about it. Is 906 bigger or smaller than 960? Okay, well, you have to look at the place value here. The numbers are exactly the same, but they're in a different order. So some kids will just look at the ending here and say, oh, 6 is bigger, so 906 must be bigger. Well, that doesn't quite work, because first thing we have to do is we actually have to start on the left-hand side. Both of those are 9s. That's the same. Then we get to the tens place, and we see that we have a 0 here and a 6 here. So this one has to be smaller, because 0 is smaller than 6. So 906 is less than 960. Alright, and for this one, 5,708 is greater than or less than 599. Well, again, we're going to start on the left-hand side. This one doesn't have a thousands place here, but this one does. So because it doesn't have a thousands place, it's like having a 0 there. So I want to compare the two thousands place. And I know that 5 is much bigger than 0. So 5,000 is many more than 0,000. Okay, which we wouldn't actually say if we were saying the number, but when we're talking about place value, it's a great way to compare two numbers. So I know that this number must be bigger, because 5,000 is so many more than 0. So 5,708 is greater than, so I'm going to point my open side towards the bigger number, is greater than 599. And you'll also notice that this point is still pointing toward the smaller number, even though my sign reads is greater than. We can do the same thing. This one goes all the way out to the 10,000s place. And I notice both of them have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. The 3 is the same. The 1 is the same. So 31,000. Both numbers have 31,000. Then I'm going to look at the next number over. 8 or 9. Well, I know that 8 is smaller than 9. So 31,859 is less than 31,958. This is true even though both numbers use all the exact same digits in a different order. And that's how you want to do that. Just start at the left and compare going across to the right. And again, if one of the digits has less numbers than another, you can add a 0 there if you want to make it the same number of digits. But there's a good chance that if this number has less digits, that it's smaller. Now, that's true until we start talking about putting decimal points in numbers. So it's always a good idea. Just fill it in so you can see what that actually looks like. Now, for number 7, number 8, and number 9, you want to use these digits. Use digits 6, 8, 3, and 9. For number 7, you want to write the smallest possible number. And number 8, you want to write the largest possible number. So kids need to think about, okay, in order to get the smallest possible number, you know if you've got 4 places here, that you're going to go all the way up to the thousands place. Well, if I'm going all the way up to the thousands place, I need to think about this. Which is going to be smaller, 6,000, 8,000, 3,000, or 9,000? I know that 3,000 is going to be smaller than all of those, so I'm going to start with a 3. Now the next numbers I have left to use are 6, 8, and 9. So I know my next place is the hundreds place, so I need to start with either 600, 800, or 900. And I want the smallest one, so I'm going to take the 600. And then I need to choose, my next place is my tens place, so it's going to be either 80 or 90. I know 80 is smaller than 90, and then my last number is 9. So 3,689 is the smallest number I can make. Now in order to make the largest possible number, I'm going to start to try to find the biggest possible number that I could put in my thousands place. And again, the biggest possible number for the hundreds, and the biggest possible number for the tens, and the biggest possible number at that point for the ones. And then you need to write 2 numbers that are between the smallest and largest numbers. Now for this one down here, you're going to fill in the missing numbers. So kids need to look at this number line, and the things that they need to notice about it are a couple things. First of all, these marks here are evenly spaced, which means there's going to be an equal distance between this number and this number, and this number and this number, and this number and this number. And the other thing they need to notice is which place value is changing. Here. This is the place value that's changing, if they're not sure how to go about that. And so, as they move the numbers across, they'll see that it's the thousands place that is changing. Number 11 through 14, write these problems on the back of the page. Solve and show work. It's also a good idea if students check their work. It's good practice, and it also helps them think about how they're solving these kinds of problems. This is Homelink 5.2, comparing numbers.